Hello everyone and welcome back to Tango Simulations. Today I would like to present you with a quick little video about MagUI, why it's my favorite UI, why I think it's the best UI and the UI you should be perhaps using. Know that there are multiple different other UI modes. I highly recommend you experiment with as many UI options as you can, and MagUI is my favorite UI without a shadow of a doubt. So first and foremost, the appearance. MagUI, as you can see, is very clean, it's very compact, it tries to save screen space and it tries to not overload you with information. So you've got a very minimalist design. First and foremost, lower left corner, you've got all sorts of important information about your U-boat. So you've got the heading tape, which is really useful for quickly determining your heading instead of going to your compass. You've got radar readings, you've got speed readings, you've got depth readings. Here is the clock as well, here is the TC controls, and this little tab right here contains your battery, your fuel, your oxygen, and so on and so on. So the most important information about your U-boat is neatly and nicely grouped in here, and that's awesome. Now you might notice that the speed dials and the depth dials are missing. They're not. All you have to do is press this button right here. As you can see, the dials are quite big. They are enlarged to make it easier for you to click specific things. In fact, this is why I prefer changing my heading with this one, because the bigger a compass is, the easier it is to go exactly where you want. I'm not a big fan of this compass right here. But anyhow, the point is that these dials are quite big, and it would be really bad to have them in your face all the time. So you have a nice little button. You can hide them, you can make them come up. Besides the most important things, so depth controls, speed controls, you can just use them with keybinds. So for example, right now if you look at the speed, we are at a dead stop. If I press the number 5 on my keyboard, it's gonna go flank ahead there. And if I want to stop, I can press the tilde key and I'll command my diesels to be shut down. So there's not a lot of reasons why you would want a speed dial to be always present. You've got a nice little chat. I say it's a chat, but it's not really a chat. It's just a notification thing. So everything that the crew is trying to tell you will appear here. And if you move your mouse to the extreme bottom of the screen, this chat thing swaps out for station icons. So obviously this is the nav map, this is the attack map, this is the bridge, this is the hydrophone, and so on and so on. I mean, it's not the hydrophone, it's the compartment, the hydrophone compartment. If you want to go to the hydrophone, you press H, but that's a different matter. It doesn't really matter. And of course, on the bottom right hand side, you can see various different crew icons. So these icons, when you click them, they will not transport you to the compartment. Oh, I didn't know that. If you right click on them, they will transport you to the right compartment. That's cool. See, I'm always learning something new. If you right click them, they will transport you to a new compartment. But what I was about to say is that the way you use them is with left click, and you can see that if I left click, it's essentially interacting with my crew. So I can interact with my chief engineer, I can interact with my navigator, tell him to report, for example, the depth under keel, useful stuff like that. So again, at first glance, I know this UI looks a little bit weird because it's minimalistic, it's compact, but believe me when I say it's got everything you need. Absolutely everything you need is in here. Now, let's move on to the attack periscope. This entire screen is godsend, absolutely godsend. But before I comment on this, I want to show you the multiple different optics that are available in MagUI. So starting with the attack periscope, of course, let me just say that the way this periscope with the tick marks is arranged, it's not realistic. Like, historically speaking, U-boat periscopes did not look like this. This reminds me more of a rifle in a first-person shooter than an actual periscope. However, it's very simplistic, it's very functional, it's very easy to calculate the target's range or to calculate the target speed and so on and so on. And historically speaking, and also in Vanilla Sun Hunter, U-boats only had 1.5 and 6 times magnification, but this magnification is a bit insufficient in the game because, you know, we're just playing in a small little monitor, we're just hunting for pixels, you know, you need a little bit more help. So here comes the 12 times scope, which now makes it almost possible to tell that that cargo over there has a Union Jack on his flag. So therefore it helps a little bit with target identification, so that's cool. If we move to the observation periscope, the observation periscope is quite similar to the attack periscope, but the layout changes a little bit. As you guys can see, there's a difference between the two screens. In the attack periscope, you've got the entire TDC lined up for you, whereas in the observation screen, you don't really have that. You only have a chrono to perhaps look for the target's speed. Generally speaking, you can't really initiate attacks from the observation periscope. You have to use the attack periscope. That's how it's done. And then the UZO. Now again, the UZO is not realistic, but it's quite useful. It's quite handy. You've got a flags card, which is available both in periscopes and UZO to assist you with identifying flags. The way the entire thing is arranged, the colors, the sound, like, take a moment and listen. Just listen for a moment. And then, again, if you want to interact with the TDC and you want, you know, for example, to change the speed, let's say this target is doing 6 knots and you want to change the range, let's say this target is 600 meters out, and so on and so on. Then, when you want to program your torpedoes, instead of pressing F6 and going to the torpedo screen, you can instead stay here. All you have to do is move your mouse to the top side of the walls, and right now you have access to all the necessary torpedo settings. So that's awesome. It really is awesome that everything you need is here, and it's well hidden, it's well arranged. And all in all, the reason why I love MagUI, besides the mood, besides the ambience, is the simplicity. It's a simple UI, it's a good looking UI, and it does the job. Now, I've praised it enough. Let's go and have a look at the disadvantages, and this is the disadvantage right here. The only disadvantage I see is this one right here, the small map. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this. I'm not saying it's useless, because it's not. The tools are fantastic because by default they come with the helper tools activated, and also the ruler specifically is using a great helper tool that is enlarged to allow you to plot with a much higher degree of precision. Of course, the same can be said about the protractor, and we also have a dedicated protractor that we can use. If you guys can see, I can't draw on it, the tool disappears, but if you just go right outside of it and use the ruler tool to line up with what you want, you can easily draw a straight line, and look at that. I've got a perfect horizontal line from the 270 going through the 290. So that's awesome. For example, that's a perfect horizontal line right there. Pretty helpful. Of course, you've got a nomograph. I'm planning to do a nomograph video quite soon. This is probably going to be the next tutorial. And you also have this thing right here. I'm not sure what it's called, but what the use is. But what is its use is that you put it on the map and you try to match the color with the color of the map. So in my eyes right now, I think that the depth we're looking for is something like 100 meters. And if I go to my navigator and I ask him about the depth under the keel, his estimation is going to be 102 meters. So pretty useful tool and pretty accurate too. At least here. Maybe in a different sea it won't be accurate, but here at least it seems to be quite accurate and quite helpful. This right here, I'm not really sure what the fuck it is. It seems to be an attack wheel of some kind. I honestly don't know what this is. I'll have to look it up and possibly do a tutorial on it. Of course, the compass, fantastic looking compass, and we also have some pretty nice looking cards. The most important cards perhaps are the conversion cards. and we also have on the attack periscope, we also have lead angle cards. So all in all, this is an all-inclusive, fantastic looking and sounding UI, and I highly recommend you use this one over 95% of all the other UIs. There is only one other UI that interests me, and I'll probably do a video for it as well, but to be honest, MagUI, in my humble opinion, cannot be beat. This is the best UI for Silent Hill 3, assuming you're playing on a small 24-inch screen. If you go for a bigger screen, this UI is not so good, but for a small 24-inch screen, 1080p resolution, this is the way to enjoy Silent Hill 3. At any rate, thank you for watching. I hope you found this video helpful. Tengu signing out. Good hunting.
U37 ist das.